Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Masterpiece MP-56 Trailbreaker. We're going to go ahead and put the truck here off to the side because we're going to look at this box, which, yep, it's a Masterpiece box. You got Trailbreaker, both his modes there. You got Trailbreaker and a bunch of Japanese there, and Long Life Design, Takara Tomy, Masterpiece. Up here you got Masterpiece and Trailbreaker. On the side you have a picture of him in his alt mode. On that side you have a picture of him in robot mode and Transformers Masterpiece and all that stuff. Bunch of warnings and copyrights and phone numbers and all that stuff, and Toyota official license, which is interesting. They didn't put the Toyota logo on the front, which is usually what they do. And on the back here you have a bunch of product shots and probably bios and what's included and so on and so forth. It's a Toyota Hilux, you know, the most indestructible truck in the world. Included, of course, are the instructions, which, you know, are the fold out and the big old poster style thing, which is really annoying for something like this, particularly also since the instructions themselves are actually the panels themselves are actually not too small this time around, thank goodness. And you also got a couple pictures and accessories and all that stuff in there. And you have the bio card, which, you know, nice bit of artwork there of Trailbreaker on the front end. On the back you have another, you know, the tech specs and bio and all that stuff. Now, Trailbreaker, yeah, again, is a Toyota pickup truck. And he's gray and not black, and you're gonna have to deal with that. Now, you can see here, looking up close, you can see actually, you know, the guy in a little weird yellow, red, and orange striping there. You got a little silver hubcaps. You got, you know, pigtail handles. You got the Toyota, you know, the 4x4 wheel drive thing. You got a nice shiny grill with Toyota and the headlights, and you got the hood mirrors, because that was a thing in Japan. You got the Autobot symbol. You got nice blue, translucent blue windows all around, including on the canopy itself. You got, you know, taillights and Toyota picked out back here. Although also my canopy, you can try to tell it doesn't quite sit straight, unfortunately, on mine. This tab does not like to go in properly, so that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, the mirrors also, you can see picked out silver paint. The bottom is actually relatively clean. You see mostly just legs, whatnot. You got the parking lights there too and all that stuff, and, you know, generally looks pretty good, although this wheel just came untabbed. Yeah, just this one part right here, these don't like to tab nicely. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a common thing or if it's just mine. Also get gas tanks. But, yeah, it of course rolls pretty well, which is nice. And there you go. A pretty darn good looking Toyota pickup truck, I would say. It's very nice, nice and compact, and, you know, works well and looks good and everything. And there you go. He does have a couple accessories that do work in this mode. First of all, there's this little right here. You can see this bit right here. What you do, you can actually, if there's a little tab right here, if you get your thumb on that or something, you can lift this up enough to get your thumbnail underneath and open that up. And what you do is it comes with this little radar dishes thing from an episode. I think it might have been the Ultimate Doom. But anyway, you can there's a couple tabs here. You can plug this in right there, like that. Untab this wheel again because you force it. And there you go. That can sit up here and it can rotate around and send messages and all that stuff, which is pretty neat. You know, it's a good old that one time in that one episode thing. The other cool thing is you can actually open the doors in this mode, although it's not quite on the door seam line. Still, you can open the door. You know, open it up, you know, slide it back, extend it out. And they made it so there's just enough room in there. So say if you have MP-54, you know, comes with, you know, Spike, you can get him in here. It's kind of a bit of a tight fit, but you can kind of jam Spike in there, and he can be riding along. And there you go, he's in there, and little snug, but he fits. Let's get him out hopefully without pulling off ball joints and stuff. Okay, there we go. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat, but, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I do not care that much about that sort of thing. It's kind of neat for all of 3 seconds, and then I don't care anymore. Now, he does come with another accessory for this mode, which is, well, actually, another thing too. This alternate grill, which is more cartoon accurate. It's more simplistic and squared off, and, you know, there's a couple things to make it more cartoon accurate if you want. So you want to do is slide this down right here, slide the grill down, and then untap it. And then you take the same one and you tab it in. Although this one on mine, the cartoon grill, is much meaner, I guess. It doesn't like to tab in nicely compared to the real world grill. Yeah, tab that in and slide it up. Well, hopefully you can. Again, mine is cartoon grill does not like to tab in. I don't know what it is. I think there's actually an excess bit of plastic somewhere. If I'm looking at it, there's a little excess plastic that's not on the normal grill, so which is why it's so weird about this. It does not like to go in. Which I'm only going to show it off in this mode and not just mess with it ever again. I don't, because personally I prefer the realistic grill, not the cartoon grill. Okay, I've never had this much trouble with it. It usually goes in at least at some point. Nope, still doesn't want to go in. It's particularly that side. There we go. Okay, got it. There, see? There's that. Another thing you can do, which is after, before you slide that up, is open that up and close those up. And because he didn't have those mirrors on the cartoon. And there you go. You can have a little more cartoon-esque. And there's one more thing, because there's something else the cartoon did, which is the windows were weird in the cartoon. They include, as well as a sheet of stickers, actually, is extra Autobot logos for one thing, which, kind of white or outline. And they also got these two black squares. What you do is you put the black square windows stickers on the windows. And because the windows in the cartoon are just little triangles, that makes it more like the cartoon. Personally, I'm not going to do that because I don't want that. I think that looks bad. So I'm not going to use these. But if you want to, you can use it if you want. I'm not going to. In fact, I'm going to change it right back to realistic because that's what I prefer personally. But, you can do whatever you want with yours. Yeah, that one. Why this one? I suspect I'm looking at it. Been looking at it, which is this. I think there's excess bit of plastic on. Looking at there's like an excess. Yeah, there's excess plastic on this one. There's like more plastic on this inner part of the tab than there should be compared to this one, which is why this one does not like to go on. Whereas this one just kind of goes, happily slides on pretty much, and just not a problem. But whatever. Also, the nice thing is you can see. Speaking of. See a nice bit of engine detail, including actually a little bit of paint in there too, for silver and red in there, which is pretty cool. They didn't have to do that, but they did anyway. It's kind of neat. There's actually some engine detailing in there. Yep. So yeah, that's the vehicle mode. Really nice looking. You got some options for how you want it to look. You even have a couple little cool little extra accessories, and you can even hold a couple dudes if you want, because both sides can do it. But I just like to have it the good old realistic version. Anyway, comparisons. The Lambo brothers, Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Yes, because that one time in that one episode, you know which one I'm talking about probably. Yep, these three kind of were side by side, rolling along on a cliffside. There you go. There's two of them. Or three of them, I guess. Here he is with Ironhide. Because he's also kind of a bulkier old dude, in a sense. I think it might be... I don't think they're quite in scale. I think this van might be smaller, but whatever. Just because I want to make things easier on myself. Here's the MP-10B, which, yes, one thing I want to, this is here. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of upset that this one's more gray and not black. Because the toy's black, but in this cartoon he was gray. And Takara has been all about the cartoon thing, so, he's gray instead of black. People would prefer it in probably this color, but if it really bothers you, there are options so you don't have to buy the Takara version if you don't want. But yeah, there it is. Next to MP-10B, which actually I think is pretty close in scale. Maybe this truck's a little small, but whatever. And one last comparison. Here he is with the MMC version of Trailbreaker, which size-wise, they're actually pretty close. You can see that they're really close in size. This one's a bit longer, but it's also a bit taller because he's got the bigger wheels. You can see the wheels are, wheel sizes are a bit different. Also, this is rubber wheels, this is plastic wheels, but yeah, you can see they're actually pretty close, although this is more based on the American model of the Toyota pickup because it has the mirrors on the doors and not on the hood. So you got all that. Still a good toy, though. Anyway, That's his alt mode. I'm going to go ahead and transform to robot mode, and we shall continue from there. Right, so robot mode. Yeah, you can see there he is, well, a big old gray Trailbreaker truck man. He's getting up close a little bit. You can see his face. He got a nice, nicely picked out face. You know, he's got the, the jaw and cheekbones and mouth, picked out. Nice metallic blue visor. You got the silver overhead guns. You got his, gray shoulders. And you got the blue windshield chest. And he's got his hood paunch belly thing, which a lot of third-party guys have kind of, flattened that out and made it more heroic looking, but, this is kind of closer to accurate. The only thing is, should be kind of a taper in compared to the cartoon, and beggars can't be choosers. Of course, you got his backpack, which, has this, this is the correct angle right here, by the way. This you should be flattened down like this, and if you have this part sticking out at all, you have done it wrong. Shame on you. Although, yeah, I think this isn't quite tapped in all the way. There we go. That's better. Those weren't quite tapped in all the way. But yeah, you got all that stuff. You got the gray forearms. You got his Autobot symbol. This can be the cartoon thing. I'm not swapping it out here because it's a pain in the butt to swap these on mine because of the weird thing with the cartoon one. You got his, dark gray. You got the light gray. You got the red knee things, which, by the way, yeah, if they look like this, yeah, don't worry. That's not a mistake. They are supposed to look like that. They're not supposed to be mirrors. They're supposed to be identical. So don't worry about that. It's not a mistake. More gray, some vintage details, some silver, and you got the feet in the gray, and also you got his Toyota on the, well, kind of backwards now. Oda toy. Oda toy. And so on and so forth, yeah. It's very good looking again. It's kind of more along the lines, yeah, it's kind of with his, kind of his bio of like, hey, yeah, I'm slow and stuff, but I'm real tough, that sort of thing. So he's got that going on. Yeah, it's very nice. The only thing maybe is, you can see right through that, which that doesn't bother me particularly, but it's going to bother some people. You can kind of fill that in if you adjust the jointing in here and stuff, but I'm kind of fine with it as is. You got the window, like the windows are just chilling out there. Some people are not really happy about that, but again, it's one of those things where it's like I think for overall, it's a very smart use of space overall and makes it really work pretty well. He does have a couple accessories. Again, yeah, like I said, you can take this and swap it in. Not going to, because it's a pain in my mind. I just can't get it done. Can't get the leverage to swap it on this. I'd have to go back to truck mode. I'm not doing that. One thing, he does have a couple alternate faces. One is so you can see that, but yeah, one's a kind of more of a smiling face of sorts. You can see one's more of a shouting face. And swapping them out is pretty straightforward. You just pull the front of this face off and swap with either one of these. Just like that. Bam. Done. Easy. So you got that. Now he's going to be smiling for the rest of this review. He has actually a green blast effect thingy, which can plug into multiple things. It can plug into this gun if you want. You got that. It's cool. I think it can plug in this thing. Yeah, it can plug in this thing. It's cool, the little weird missile mount thing. You can plug into this. It's a little more, kind of have to push it in a little harder, but you can plug it in there. It's cool. And can it go on the antenna? Possibly can go on the antenna, but no, it can't. You can also go with this other accessory, which, yeah, this thing, which you can plug it in right here, too. Which, yeah, this little thing. I can't remember what he did. Was it like a magnet or something? I don't remember. Was it? Well, maybe was it a force field generator? No. I don't remember. It's been a bit since I watched, but I remember this is in the show somewhere. But this is a little thing. So you can do a thing here, which is, well, you can actually I'm going to do it in this hand. Why not? Just so I can show it off. Yeah. Yeah, it comes off right here. This bit, it's the arm on the wrist. You can just pop off, and you can put, well, this one on. You can also swap it on the other arm too, but yeah, I just want to show off the just kind of, no hands mode. And then, yeah, they also, if you don't want them to have the gunner and want to swap it around so the gun's on the right hand, they also comes with an extra left hand, and works the same principle. Just pop that off and pop that on, and done. Easy. So you can do all that stuff if you want. And, yeah. That's the accessories he has. Again, I'm not going to put the grill on because it's just a pain in the butt. I don't like it anyway. It's not worth the effort. You can do it yourself if you want. But yeah, articulation, though. He's wobbling because I don't have him quite. There we go. Yeah, articulation, his head on a ball joint, left and right and up and down. And he got a little bit of waggle and all that stuff. Nice bit of range there. Shoulders, you got this 360 joint. You got a butterfly joint right there. You do have outward, and there's also a second joint. Actually, I forgot. There's another rotation joint right here too. I'm not sure why, but there's a second rotation joint. There's one right here, and there's one right here. But yeah, the outward is okay. So outward by default, you got that. Now that is kind of limited, and also in the box, you'll see he can raise his hands above his head, which is kind of weird. And see, there's a little thing you can do to make it do that, because there's actually a whole separate joint here, but. For whatever reason, I'm going to try to see if I can get in here close here. Right here, if you see right there on this part right here, you can see that little curvature right here on this. As it stands out of the box, this little curvature, prevents this joint from working. You can force it and you'll damage the plastic, but what I did, it's pretty simple. You can actually just get in there and shave that bit down a little bit, and then this is able to move. You can see it actually is nice and tight, and I'm not actually, it's not moving unless I want it to move, which is nice. Although, yeah, you kind of have to kind of click it back to place. And it's really easy to get in there. Back here, you just undo these two screws right here, pop this panel off, and then this will slide out, and don't lose the screws either. This will slide out, and then you can get in right in there. It's this piece right here. You can also take their forearm out too. And this was piece by itself. You can just get in there and shave that down a bit. Don't do it too much. Just kind of keep shaving it a little bit, and it's only like a millimeter or two at most. Just shave a little by little bit until you can, and keep doing test fits until you can move it without it being like super loose or anything. And then tighten, put it all back together. It's really simple. I'm not sure why in the world they changed the molding at the last second. And that's what it seems like happened. Like the molding got changed at the last second. I'm not sure. Maybe they're afraid of this being too loose or something. Maybe they decided it was, I don't know, something about the articulation. Any which way, it's a real simple mod, and it'll get you more articulation. But if you don't do it, you still get this much. So, or you can just force it and stress the plastic and everything. But I just recommend shaving it down, and you can still get that and everything. It looks nice, and there you go. But continue on, bicep swivel, of course. Elbow is a single hinge, but it's one of those where it's got a nice range because of how it's hit, and it's also soft ratchet. Down here at the wrist, you have a swivel, and you have a hinge, and if you have the hands on, you can, there's a couple hinges, and also the index finger is separate. But yeah, each one has a hinge at the base and hinge mid-knuckle, and the thumb also is on a hinge as well. For whatever reason, some people really do not like these hands sometimes, but it's just the way they have them designed for here at Takara stuff. So there you go on that. Here at the waist, you have, of course, a swivel, nice and unhindered. There's a ab crunch about that much, if you want. His hips do the thing where the hip skirt slides in with the hip, and you got that much range. Forward, back, you only have that much. Another thing is sometimes when you move it, sometimes it kind of sticks like that, and it just wants to do that. It's easy to just do that. Outward, you have this little flap, so you can get that much outward. You have a thigh swivel. There's this swivel too from the transformation if you want. I'm not sure how many people are going to use that, but it says a separate swivel. His knee is down here, and it's a nice bend. You also got some detail revealed when you do this, so it's a nice knee bend. Couldn't speak for a second. You got that. And down here at the feet are actually really nice too, because you got well, you got the, you know, ankle tilt, which is nice, but then you have forward and back, and you got, you know, there's a couple hinges there, so you got quite a bit of you can do some pretty wild things with the feet. And on top of that, the toes can go down and up as well. So you actually got quite a bit of posability, which is really nice. He's actually got really nice posability, and possibly the only limitations would be, well, if unmodified, the shoulders, outward shoulder movement, and the hands maybe if you're trying to get very specific poses. But he's actually got some really nice posability, and I really like it. I'm gonna actually swap these back just because I want to get that nice for the that's what I'm looking for. Comparisons. Yeah, just swap these back real quick. The other thing I also want to mention, getting these swapped back, is this. You can see it's kind of a little weirdly loose. I'm not sure what that's about. I thought that it doesn't really click into place. It kind of, there's a soft, like, I guess for lack of a better word, a thoop, kind of, but it's easy to knock it right back out of alignment, and now it's all doing that and stuff. So I guess you might be able to consider that point of articulation, but it is kind of weird. It doesn't, like, click into place or anything. So not the end of the world, but it is something to be aware of. But, you know, it's not like it's, you know, it's not falling down or anything, so I'm not sure. And of course, you can just keep it compressed if you want, but I'm not going to, because it's supposed to be extended. Yeah. So you can get some pretty cool poses and stuff, and he looks good in most of them, and yeah, he's just generally good. The only thing is, yeah, it's just if you don't like the fact he's got a bit of a pot-belly dad bod thing going on, then, well, good news is you have plenty of other options. In fact, you have, I believe, 3 options at this point. So there you go. Yeah, comparisons. I'm going to compare him to a couple of figures. Number 1... Yeah, because I had them out anyway. So here are the Lambo Bros, Sunstreaker and Sideswipe. Let's give you an idea there. Here he is next to Ironhide, one of the other tall members. Roughly the same height. I believe that is more or less correct. They are supposed to be roughly the same height, so I think that's correct. Here he is next to MP-59. Because, you know, because the name of the channel and all that. Again, some people would have preferred if this was closer to the color the Trailbreaker was, but, you know, they went with the cartoon, because in the cartoon he was gray. So you got it? And one final comparison. Here he is again with MMC's version of Trailbreaker, which you can notice he's a bit taller, actually, believe it or not. He has the whole tapered and more heroic chest, what I was talking about. So yeah, if you don't like this, you know, you can have that more heroic flat chest or belly or whatever. And both Fans Toys and Bad Cube also have their versions. So, you know, you have options if you really don't like that version. And also if you really want it to be toy colored black instead of cartoon dark gray. Yeah, I still like this one, by the way. But also it's interesting. They put the knee below the big red block, but like everyone else, every other thing like puts the knee at the red block or above it. So it's kind of interesting that the difference there. So I keep forgetting his ab crunch is very loose, but yeah. So that's the thing. I'm having difficulty because I really like this, but I don't want to have 2 of him. So I'm kind of debating what to do about this. I might try to get one of the weird Diaclone releases they did of this guy if I can. Although those are kind of expensive, so we'll see about that. So yeah, that is Masterpiece Trailbreaker. I think he's great, honestly. I think he's overall a pretty solid toy. He's got a fun transformation. The transformation is actually pretty simple and clean and fun. The only thing I would say watch out for is it's easy to get the canopy misaligned for the robot mode, which isn't a huge deal. It's just an aesthetic thing, but if you want it right, you got to remember to do that. There's like one thing, the weird thing about the shoulder guns is I don't think the instructions handle those very well. So hopefully my video helped with that. I feel like, yeah, the instructions kind of glossed over how those work, and it makes it much easier if just kind of go beyond what the instructions say. But it's got a nice robot mode. The truck mode's great. You got options when it comes to realistic or cartoon style truck or whatnot. He's got a couple good faces, some good accessories, but not too many. That's one thing I really like. He has a good amount of accessories, but not too many accessories, because for me, a lot of those just wind up back in the box, where it just kind of like it was a waste. It feels like a waste of money for me. But largely, really solid, really, really solid. I rather like it. I wasn't sure how I was going to like him, but in the end, yeah, I think he's really good. The only thing maybe is if, for you personally, if the if you really want that toy black instead of the cartoon black, you're gonna have to go searching elsewhere, because it's pretty, unless maybe they might do a redeco at some point, but at this point it seems like that's not going to be the case. I don't know for sure, but you know, you do have options if that's, you know, if that's important to you. You do have 3 other options. The only thing is, I think this one is probably the most smooth for transforming. The other thing about that is, oh yeah, the pot belly thing too. Again, you're going to have to deal with that too if you want. But I still think he's good. And I'd actually recommend picking him up. Unless you just really either already have a Trailbreaker you're happy with, or you really just don't really care about Trailbreaker. But if you are interested in Trailbreaker at all, you're maybe like me, you're trying to get the complete ARC crew or whatever. Yeah, I think he's just worth it. He does cost about $110, $120 at least if you import from Japan. He'll cost a little bit more if you buy him domestically, but again, I think that's actually a pretty good deal overall. It's yeah, I think he's, you know, he's a good chunky figure and he's worth it. So yeah, just I think he's worth it. Go ahead and buy him. But yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.com/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my coffee on my Patreon. Again, I haven't said this yet, but at least on video, thanks to, you know, all you for subscribing. I got hit 1,000, which is great. Hope you guys stick around, and, you know, I'll keep doing this for as long as I can, you know, can. So, see you next time, and bye.